I think about how you would integrate social media into what you're doing already, I advocate this sort of homeland embassy strategy, right? Your website, your domain is your homeland, right? And obviously this country, if you're an American citizen, is your homeland. And the truth is we have embassies all over the world. We have embassies in some very violent, hostile countries. We don't agree with the way they manage things there, their affairs there, but we have economic interests, right? So we have a presence there. And in those embassies, by the way, we have more Marines than we do in Western European countries, right? And in each embassy, the majority of the staffers are local residents, right? There are a few diplomats surrounded by local residents who guide them through the nuances of that culture. So when you think about how you're going to structure a social marketing campaign, ask yourself, first of all, how am I going to wake up my own website? Because I don't want to invite people over if the place is dirty and messed up and I can't serve them coffee, right? Aligning sales and marketing is key because once you get them there, you got to get them to drink, so some sort of a lead gen or whatever it might be. But that's first, because that's where the measurable transaction occurs. And then, how can I build a presence through embassies in these different social networks? Staff them appropriately with people who understand Twitter and who understand LinkedIn, right? And basically extend the reach of what I'm doing through these channels, extend the reach of what I'm doing already. Well, as I said, rather than thinking about creating original content, how can you plug social media into what you're doing already? So you guys are probably all experts in what you do. And if somebody gets you on the phone to ask you questions, you can answer them. Is there a way to turn those answers, those FAQs, into blog posts, right? Or could you just record them? If you could record them, those could be MP3s, and you could have a podcast. If you had a photo of yourself when you were giving that talk, or a photo of something you were demonstrating, like some of the things I see on the back tables here, now you've got something to post on Flickr. Once you've got this podcast, you could do a text transcript. Now you've got a blog post. You could tweet out a link to that blog post. You could file a link to that blog post on your LinkedIn group. If there was a deck, you could post that to SlideShare. And if there was something worth taking video of, don't bother unless it's worth it, you could post that to YouTube. So what are the biggest challenges? The biggest challenges I see it, forgive me, I'm just being straight with you guys, social media illiteracy. It's very high in the boardroom. People think they get it, but they don't, And it's like if you saw what happened with JCPenney and Overstock getting hammered by Google, and if you didn't see that, you should. That's because the CEO had no idea what an inbound link is, didn't even know the difference between SEO and PPC, right? You may not either, right? I think until you're going to be effective, you've got to increase your social media literacy rate, or you're never going to be able to do this. You're going to trip up. And that's going to mean, getting yourself trained. There's a lot of ways to do it. So I'll give you some examples. You could hire somebody. It's expensive to get somebody good, but they'll spend a week and make a 1-hour presentation for you and prove to you. They'll show you evidence of what's occurring in your industry sector that affects the bottom line, right? They'll do the listening for you, tell you the keywords, the whole thing, train you, send you on your way. If that's too expensive, there's a lot of training opportunities out there. You could go to a seminar. I teach seminars. There's a lot of free webinars that you can take online that'll get you educated, but you really have to learn the ins and outs of this stuff because you can't lead the troops in battle if you don't know what artillery is.